Hi everyone, happy summer. I'm Robin Eidsmo and I'm the Executive Director of the Sun Valley Writers Conference. I would normally be coming to you from the Pavilion stage in Sun Valley, where we would have gathered to hear an extraordinary group of writers who had agreed to be with us this summer. But alas, it was not meant to be. So instead, we're going to come to you in a different way. This last spring and this early summer, we have been working on our webcasts and our podcasts. We've talked to Scott Berg and to Abraham Verghese, and also to George Packer, who was one of the wonderful writers who was to join us this year. We've had a chance to dig into our treasured trove of audio talks into our archive, and we've created podcasts so that when you're taking a walk or cooking in the kitchen or going for a drive, you will have a little reminder of Sun Valley to take with you. And today, we have some wonderful programming coming in the form of a video. We've got a whimsical piece from SVWC Family. We have greetings from writer alum from across the country, and we're also going to give you a sneak preview of what's ahead. So thank you so much for joining us. We miss seeing you in person, to say the least, but if you'll grab a glass of wine or a good cup of coffee, we'll be with you in spirit. Now have fun.
The Sun Valley Writers Conference is, of course, driven by books, but actually it's more than that. It is also a great annual, joyful family reunion. You meet other people, great book fans, and you exchange the events of the last year, make dinner reservations, bicker about what book is better than another. And it's that quality that enhances the conference and makes it unique among the book conferences across America.
I really miss everyone at the Sun Valley Writers Conference this year and every year that I'm not there. I've been lucky enough to present at the Sun Valley Writers Conference for 2 different summers, and I can easily say, hands down, that it is my favorite conference in the entire world.
We have so much enjoyed being part of your conferences in the past. We miss very much being there right now. We admire what you've done for the community, for writers, for life in America.
Thank you, Sun Valley folks, for the wonderful memories of the fantastic conversations, the wonderful lectures, the beautiful dinners in that breathtaking setting. My children keep wanting me to write other books so I can come back and be with you again in person. I'm working on it.
Hello, everyone. This is Simon Winchester, and I'm calling you from the Berkshires in western Massachusetts. And were this a normal year, I'd be preparing to head off to Sun Valley. Golly, how I miss it. I mean, this is nice, but Sun Valley is spectacular. The audiences were wonderful. The organization was so brilliantly done, and watching ice skating in the middle of summer.
Ah, Sun Valley. My husband Frank McCourt and I spent many, many happy, hilarious summers in Sun Valley at the Sun Valley Writers Conference. Made lasting friendships, too. But it was the nights, the dinners, the lectures, the people, the camaraderie. What do I miss? I miss everything about it.
I can't believe only a year ago we were there celebrating the opening night of the Sun Valley Writers Conference. It feels like 7 lifetimes, but I can't wait till we all get together in person again.
This is Deb Fallows. Jim and I are here in Washington, D.C. We miss you all. We miss your great hospitality, the conversations, the tender loving care, and I miss your swimming pools. We hope to see you again soon.
So this is to our dear friends in Sun Valley. We are missing you.
This is our favorite week of the year, and we're so sorry not to be with everyone in Sun Valley, Idaho.
To tell you the truth, the first time Paula and I were coming to Sun Valley Writers Conference, we weren't sure what we were getting into, but boy, are we glad we came. We have enjoyed it so much. We have come back time and again, and it turns out the only way you can really keep us away is with a pandemic.
Hi, this is Svwc Dumas, sheltering in place. I need a haircut. I just want to say that the Sun Valley Writers Conference is my 4 favorite days of the year, and I'm so sad I won't be there this year. But 2021, I will be there, and I will be hugging each and every one of you. You've been warned.
It's Philip Gurevich, and I'm in the Oblong Valley in New York State. I've been here since pretty much since the virus came and we had to take refuge from it in late March. And as the month was turning, then everybody was quoting that first line from T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland, April is the cruelest month. But now in summer, thinking about Sun Valley and not being there, not being with everyone there this year, and missing it, I keep thinking of a line much later in that first stanza. In the mountains, there you feel free.
Hey, it's Jeff Toobin. You know what writers like to do? They like to complain. And you know what no writer complains about? Going to Sun Valley, because it's so great, it's so beautiful, and the people are so nice, and the audiences are so great, and the food, and it's fantastic. And I miss it very much, because I sort of miss everything now.
Hello, Sun Valley Writers Conference. I'm Madeline Miller, the author of Svwc, and I wanted to send my best out to all of you. I'm so sorry that the Sun Valley Writers Conference can't gather this summer. I hope that you all are staying safe and finding lots of books to read, and I know that Sun Valley will meet again down the line.
Hi, I'm Mitch Albom, and just sharing with a lot of other writers and alumni of the Sun Valley Writers Conference how saddened I am by the fact that it can't take place for real, but would love to just contribute my thoughts virtually. I sure do miss that place. I went a number of times, was kind enough to be invited back multiple times, and I'll always remember Sun Valley Writers Conference as yet another place that the rock bottom remainders duped into giving us a gig.
Hi, this is Jin Lee, and I wish I were in Idaho. I'm thinking of the Sun Valley Writers Conference and how much fun I had. I miss Mitch Kaplan and Jeff Brown, and I miss Danny Shapiro and Alice McDermott and Madeline Miller and John Burnham Schwartz. I miss everyone, and I really miss Idaho. I'm thinking of you.
Hi everyone, my name is Anne Taylor Fleming, and I'm the Associate Director of the Sun Valley Writers Conference. And I sure am missing the festival this year, just like the rest of you. But it's fair to say that no one is missing it more than our next guest. Many of you will recognize him from his years of attending the conference, where he has edified and entertained us. So here he is to assuage your nostalgia and his own. Enjoy.
So what I'm doing now, I don't want to be too loud because I don't want to wake anybody up. We're going to have a mini Sun Valley Writers Conference at home. I've gone to this thing every year since it started, 26 years ago, and I'm missing it terribly. But even more than that, my daughters, Ava and Esme, they have never missed one of these things. They each attended their first when they were 3 months old, and they've never missed one. And it's just such a huge part of their lives that I feel like so much has been taken away from them, this crisis, that it just seems too sad for them not to have the conference. So I had this idea. I'm gonna recreate it at home, and that's gonna be our day.
Yeah, so every year Mark gets so excited before the conference. He can't sleep. He starts prepping a couple months beforehand. And then after the conference, he sleeps for a month. This year I was getting a little worried because he was just going straight to the sleeping. And then we were hanging out with our neighbors, and I said, Mark, what are your plans for the summer? And he said, oh, growing a beard. So.
Oh, this is so great. So James Tooley promised he would send me a few things from the conference so that I could help, set up just to make it as real as it could be. So let's see what he got for me. Oh, the vests, the volunteer vests. Ask me. Oh, this is great. Oh, the girls can wear this. When the audience, they can help the audience come in, and a blanket. It gets cold. You never know with the weather. And oh my gosh. Lanyards. We got lanyards. Oh, this is going to be so good. Oh, hats. Sun Valley covers out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say this, but this is kind of my mom's idea. for my dad just to kind of keep him occupied, especially in quarantine. Like, he was not doing too hot before this.
I don't think he's going to do it unless he thinks that he's doing it for somebody else, because that's how he is. And so I just didn't know he was going to take it this far, but I think he's having a good time.
So I'm filling in the lanyards now. Ticket holders, you all remember, you have to have a ticket with you when you go, and the colored lanyard tells you what level you're at and all. And Ava and Esme have kept theirs, so they've got like 20 of them, but I need to make some for everybody else, so I'm just doing this. I'm doing mine now.
For me, I feel incredibly lucky to have grown up with the conference. I've been going since I was a baby, and that's such a huge privilege and something that I've been so grateful for. And whether it be hearing one of the most incredible talks of my entire life, or having a conversation over lunch, or playing music with the other writers in the bar, it's really been a place of community and growth and learning throughout my entire life. And we really did want to recreate some sense of that at home, just because for me, the conference has always been so special. But I know that for Dad, I think it's sort of really what keeps him going at this point. It's like his reset. He has to do it every year. He just forgets how to do everything. And we felt so bad. Now we're just trying our best to make it good.
When you're going to give a talk, well, you're backstage, right? You have to wait. The waiting's the hard part. First, Robin Eidsmo goes out there and she welcomes everyone. She talks for a bit. Then John Schwartz goes out there and tells everyone to drink water and put on sunscreen. And you're thinking, come on, let's go. And then finally, Anne Taylor Fleming goes out. She says something nice about you. And then you walk out there and you see them. It's a sea of faces. And they're familiar. And this group, they support you, they love you, and they are familiar because, we see each other every year. Some of these people I've been seeing every year for 25 years. We talk on the lawn, we have lunch together, we share. They've watched my kids grow up together. It's a wonderful thing. It's a family. It's not just a Talking Heads event. It really is a family reunion.
Yeah, we look forward to it every year, and this will be a little bit different, but it still is keeping the spirit alive.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Anne. Good to see you.
Mark. Lovely to see you.
Yeah, welcome to the first morning breakout of Sun Valley Writers Conference at home. First thing I want to tell you is you've got to see Ava dressed the living room as the Sun Valley Lodge. So I just got to show this to you.
Cool.
You know how there in the lodge there's that hallway with all the celebrity photographs? Okay, so we've got Ernest Hemingway, Louis Armstrong, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Adam West, Betty Carr. Right, well, the other thing I need to explain to you is that, you know how on the first day of the conference, people have a hard time getting up for that morning breakout session? I mean, there's the flight from Haley, time change, the altitude and all. Well, so Jessica and the girls, they're still asleep in the lodge, I think, so they may not make this one, but let's just go ahead and do it anyway. Let's record it and we'll show it to them later.
So let me get this straight. We have no audience. We're just gonna pretend.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Mark, I'm here to make you look good.
Thank you.
Welcome to SVWC at Home. Here I am introducing the novelist and writer Mark Salzman, who was at the very first SVWC in person, unlike this one. Mark is the author of 4 memoirs and 3 novels, including his most recent, Lying Awake, which was about a nun with a brain tumor, a topic I still have trouble wrapping my head around. Mark is here to dazzle us with his entire career, but let's start with the writing. How did you become a writer, Mark Salzman?
Oh, thank you, Anne. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, shucks. Well, all right. So when I was 12 years old, I'm not one of those people that, I knew I wanted to be a writer. I was not a big reader or anything like that. But when I was 12, I saw the Kung Fu television show on TV. And when I saw that guy, it wasn't the fighting that impressed me. It was the fact that no matter what situation he was in, he was not anxious. He was at ease. This was the opposite of me and my whole family. So I thought, whatever that guy's got, I want it. Anne, are you just sitting really still, or?
So mine says, this is my favorite, unstable internet connection. That was a great book, Mark. That was your takeoff.
There we go.
From that to the nun with the brain tumor. It's been a terrific writing arc. Anyway, Mark, thank you for getting yourself up at this hour, even though some of your family did not. And the audience seems to be out there in hinterland. But it was lovely to talk to you, and have a great day.
Well, thanks so much, Anne, and we will be in touch soon.
Okay, Mark, that was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Miss you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was great. She's so good. She's such a pro. That was really good.
And the other thing that makes Sun Valley just so special is that everybody, whether you're a new writer or a veteran writer, everyone's going to deliver something that you're not going to find somewhere else. Everyone just steps up, and it's just an amazing group effort. But I mean, this year it's just Mark, but...
Lunch is ready! Before we had the wonderful barbecue lunch where there's the line and they have all the stuff barbecuing. They used to have little cardboard boxes, usually with chicken in it. So I got the original thing. All right, lunch is ready. Now you all know the deal though. You have to show me your lanyards first. Let me just see. That's also very good. Okay. Here's yours. Have a seat. Let's see. It was something very good. Okay. Yep. That's you. And then oh, you know, your lanyard's the wrong color. Welcome to the East Pavilion Terrace. This is our afternoon breakout session. It's a panel discussion. This is our chance to spread things around. So, the three of you have had years and years, I think altogether like 58 years worth of conferences, adding it all up. So you've got a lot of conference memories. So let's start with the obvious. I've given a lot of talks over the years. Of those talks that you've heard, which was your favorite?
Oh, there's so many.
The ones we were in?
Well, so that's a little broad. I'll narrow focus a little bit. You know, the conference has asked me to introduce a lot of authors over the years. So of the introductions I've given, which was your favorite? Which was memorable, you know?
All of them?
All of them. Brilliant stuff. He's definitely enjoying himself. I mean, he hasn't been this excited since he got the new hammock.
Oh man, it's been really heartening, I think, to see Dad so happy. I think that a little bit of the Sun Valley mark is coming back. We haven't seen him this happy in a long time. Admittedly, you know, some of the questions caught us a little bit off guard, but, you know, that was just a minor bump in the road. I think otherwise it went pretty well.
Perfect. It's great. It looks like, well, it looks as good as the real thing. It's great.
Hello, how are you guys? Thanks for coming. Thanks for making me nice. Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Ooh, thank you.
You're welcome. And being here.
Ooh, thank you.
Sure.
Hey, do you have 5 minutes just to sit down and join over here? Or?
No, I gotta get back deliveries, you know.
5 minutes.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. Sun Valley Writers Conference at home. I'm so glad that you were able to make it. I know it's a long way to come, you know, up the Sawtooth Mountains here. And I see a new face. Thank you for coming. I'm so glad you heard about it. It's great to have you here. Well, what I thought I'd do is, people often ask me about my first book, Iron and Silk, when I lived in China and studying martial arts. I thought, I'm just going to read a few favorite passages from that. And then we'll take some questions and then have a little signing. So, all right, for some reason, I always had bad luck in Canton. In August 1984, on my way out of China, after 2 years in Hunan province, I was delayed at the Canton train station for half a day because of the 7-foot leather bag I carried. Time was another problem. Teacher Pan accompanied the troupe on all of their trips to perform or to compete. One of these trips took them to Shanghai for a month. So learning the long sword proved more demanding than any of the other wushu Pan had taught me. The morning after he agreed to teach it to me, Pon arrived very early with 2 broom handles, led me up to the bathhouse, and began the training without a word. Now, I see from our time, I don't want to go too far over, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get to the end. So the teacher brought 2 swords, right? And he hands one to me, and we did this routine together, and then at the end, I was going to hand it back to him, and he said, I brought 2 swords tonight. I'm only taking 1 back with me. And then he left. And that's the end. Yeah. Thank you so much. Well, are there any questions?
Have you ever met J.K. Rowling?
No, but I'm a huge fan of the books and movies. Yeah, not so much The Hobbit, but Lord of the Rings, just classics. Yeah. Anything else?
All right, whenever you're ready.
Yes.
Have you ever used martial arts in real life?
No, but I have used it in a television commercial for The Gap, and I was a doer Scotch profile subject. Did you ever see that ad campaign? Did you drink Scotch? Probably no. Either do I. It's okay. Anyway, anything else? No, all right. Well, then we're going to move over to the table for the signing. Thank you again for coming. It's been a great pleasure, and we'll see you over there. Thank you. All right, step right up. Now, any one of these books that you like, you can have, and I will sign it for you. That comes part of the deal, so whatever you like.
Is this the book you read from?
Yes, that's the one I was just reading from now.
Oh, I'm going to take this one.
Okay, all right. Sign that for you. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. What do you say?
Is this about your teaching in juvenile hall?
Yes, it is.
Is there any cursing in it?
Yes, but it's not gratuitous.
I will take this one, please.
Oh. All right. That's a deal. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi. Whoever, this one, they made a movie of this, didn't they?
Yes, they did. That's right. In fact, it had the Joker guy in it and the Hulk. They were both, yeah.
Oh, okay. That one, it sounds good. Did you write this one?
Not exactly, no. John Schwartz wrote that, but he's the literary director for the conference. We go way back, and we just we get mistaken for each other all the time. We sign each other's books. He'd be totally fine with it, so.
Okay.
Well, let's do it.
That's
all right.
Great.
There you go.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Oh, that was a good day. Yeah. I think. I'm being summoned. One last task. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this little event. A little tradition that the girls and I have had running for the past few years at the conference is that we give a little musical performance just for fun. And we'd like to keep that tradition up. So what we'd like to play for you today is a piece from the opera Lakme. It's known as the Flower Duet. And it's about 2 women who, during a time of real trouble, it's a national crisis, and the world seems about to end. But even during all of that, they take the time to go down to the river, they pick jasmine blossoms, they toss them on the stream, and they watch them float down, and they sing about it. And I think what's wonderful about that is the message seems to be, no matter how bad things get, there's always beauty around us, and it's worth paying attention to. So, from our little family to all of you, our larger Sun Valley Writers Conference family, we wish you, well, be safe. Let's hope that somehow, out of all the trouble we're facing right now, that maybe we'll come out the other side of it with deeper wisdom. I don't know. And let's hopefully see each other next year. Anyway, the Flower Duet.
So See you next year. Thank you so much. Nice. Nicely done.
The Salzmans are indeed our own version of the Partridge Family, as we like to say. Hi, everybody. I'm John Burnham Schwartz, Literary Director of the Sun Valley Writers Conference. I wish we were together in person. It is also true that many times over the years, I have been mistaken for Mark Salzman. And should any of you have copies of Iron and Silk, Lying Awake, any of Mark's books that you wish me to sign, I would be delighted. Just send them my way. Like the Salzmans, we all have favorite memories, treasured memories of the Writers' Conference, some of which we long to tell in public and some of which we'll never tell in public. Those are the best, of course. So we thought it would be nice, entertaining, and a pleasure for you if some of our alums were able to share some of their favorite conference memories with you during this weekend when we cannot all be together in person.
The most memorable presentation for me at Sun Valley was Larry Wright's brilliant lecture about how to write a long-form nonfiction article or nonfiction book. It's probably the best set of advice I've ever heard about how to write nonfiction.
One of my favorite memories of Sun Valley is the first time I came about 20 years ago. It was before the present-day outdoor pavilion was built, and the large events were held inside an enormous circus tent. But I didn't know that, and as I was being driven in from the airport, I saw this enormous circus tent, and I thought, oh wow, on top of getting to meet all sorts of wonderful writers I've long admired, the circus has come to town. Well, I think good literature is sort of a circus of daring acrobatic feats and unexpected appearances, and I look forward to the Sun Valley Circus starting up again.
I remember taking the gondola up Baldy with John Lithgow and then hiking down a winding switchback path with the constant patter of John Lithgow telling hilarious anecdotes and stories as we wended our way down the mountain.
I think now when I think of the conference, I often think of the pavilion. Unlike this giant tent that flooded in our first few years and was a great fiasco, the pavilion is sort of our statue of literacy. And when I think of the conference, I think of our family of both writers and readers gathered in this incredible architectural structure to enjoy each other and to enjoy reading and writing.
I also remember vividly walking into town with Paul Holdengraber, who had got this fancy new little microphone thing, and he was using this for some program he was doing. We recorded a long conversation, a typically sort of Holdengraber-ish conversation, the entire way, and lingered there beside the river. And must have been 2 hours of non-stop chit-chat, and then got back and found that his microphone didn't work and the gizmo was a complete failure, so it was a total waste of time. But the rest of the stay there was just magnificent.
I think the thing that I most treasure about my 2 visits with Sun Valley Writers Conference was the conversations. You'd move from place to place, you would hear people, you would give your own talks, and then there was whoever you sat down next to, it was an engrossing conversation about what you just heard or about books you'd read, and a very rich, important, if each conversation were a vine, I would pick up the vine the next meal, and it made a very beautiful garden that one takes with one.
Hi, this is Dave Barry, and I have many wonderful memories of the Sun Valley Writers Conference. But my favorite one involves the late, great Frank McCourt. One year, Ridley Pearson and I got a band together to play a show. and Frank agreed to play a song with us. In fact, he was eager to play a song with us. He wanted to play Love Me Do in G by the Beatles, and Frank played the harmonica, he told us. So we practiced, without Frank, we practiced Love Me Do by the Beatles in G. So came the night of the show, and we had actually a huge crowd. A lot of people came. And for the big moment, we brought Frank up on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank McCourt. And everybody went crazy. And there's Frank with his harmonica. And I said, we're going to do Love Me Do by the Beatles. And Frank whispers in my ear, I don't think that's the one. And I go, it's not? And he goes, no, the one is dun, 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 which is I Should Have Known Better, which is also by the Beatles, but it is a completely different song. Well, we hadn't practiced it at all, but Frank started playing it with his harmonica, and the whole place sang it a cappella, or a cappella, however you say it, with Frank McCourt, and it was just a truly wonderful moment, and I'll never forget it.
Great to hear that from Dave and all those other stories as well. So meanwhile, we've been making a lot of digital content in lieu of being together, and we hope you will watch the products of what we've been doing. And here to give you a first snippet of one of the webcasts that's dropping right now on our website and that we hope you'll watch is my conversation with Susan Orlean, author of the library book and The Orchid Thief, of course. And this is a little snippet where Susan is experiencing, not just talking about, I would say, how surprising it is for her as a writer to be surprised by the subjects that interest her.
I'm curious about why I find something interesting. I mean, the world is filled with a million stories and a million possible topics. And one will catch me in a way that I can't shake it off. And then it becomes a sort of exploration into my own reaction to it. Why this? Why did this story, when at that point, as I said, I really wasn't looking to do another book. I didn't want to do another book. I just didn't want to have 7 more years spent on a subject. But why this? What was getting to me? The other thing that I find myself really drawn to is what are the self-made families that we exist within.
I really love that last line of Susan's, self-made family. A little bit like Sun Valley Writers Conference when you think about it. So our next conversation is between Scott Moyers, publisher of Penguin Press and one of the conference advisors, and his author, Roger McNamee, one of the legendary tech investors whose book, Zucked, Waking Up to the Facebook Catastrophe, was a bestseller last year. And they dive deep into the Facebook question. And this is a snippet from that.
And when I knew Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg best, which was from 2006 to 2009, I had a great relationship with them. I liked them very much. And Facebook in those days was doing something that I thought was really valuable for society. It was requiring authenticated identity from every single user. And it was giving them control of their privacy. And I thought, wow, if they're going to do these two things, they're not just going to be the first social network that mattered. They were going to do it the right way. I stopped being active there in 2009, which was several years before they evolved the business model for which they're famous today. And candidly, I just wasn't paying attention. Things were going on in Silicon Valley. The culture was changing. And that idealism, the empowerment mantra that was so central to my enthusiasm was being eaten away.
And now, in that inimitable Sun Valley fashion, it's time for something completely different. One of the people who was going to be coming to the conference this summer, along with Roger and Susan, was singer-songwriter Craig Finn, who also happens to be the front man for the great indie band, The Hold Steady. Craig has been putting out some wonderful, really creative and meaningful solo albums these last 8 years or so. And we wanted to sit down with him and talk about his writing process. His songs are incredibly narrative. They're like little short stories, really. and to hear how he sees the writing he does and how it fits into his music and his entire creative process. So here's a minute from my conversation with Craig Finn.
You know, I've always been interested in like people, you know, sort of the struggle, right? And I think that, especially in the solo work, the last 3 records of the songs I do outside of the Hold Steady. With the Hold Steady, I'm always kind of writing songs about people who make terrible decisions and follow them to their logical conclusion, and it all ends up terrible. With the solo stuff, and especially as I've gotten older, I think I've been more interested in writing songs about people who are doing their best and trying to do the right thing, but still having a hard time keeping their head above water. And I think that more and more of that, you know, when I look around and when I go on tour and I see, you know, that's what I see. I see a lot of people that fall into that category. I think I'm interested in grace and those, you know, kind of light shining into dark moments, because I think that that's where we find hope.
Speaking of hope, we hope to see you next year. We're counting on it. Meanwhile, we hope you're watching our webcasts, our podcasts, listening to our conversations, and being engaged with all of it, our writers past, present, and future. We miss you. We look forward to seeing you in the near future. Take good care, be well, and hear a few voices to see you down the road.
The Sun Valley Writers Conference has survived smoke, fire, thunderstorms, and lightning. And trust me, we will survive the COVID virus.
Even though we all can't gather in person this year, we will be together in spirit. And that Sun Valley spirit will just carry through the summer and the fall until other writers and other families can come back and create extraordinary memories with you. Thank you for all you do, and see you on the other side.
I also wanted to say thank you. Getting to come to Sun Valley Writers Conference last summer was one of the highlights of my literary life. I loved all our conversations about books and wonderful stories, and I very much hope that our paths cross again.
Right now, we are wishing the best for everybody. Please take care of yourself. Please keep reading, and we'll see you all, I hope, next summer.
Best wishes in absentia now, and we hope to see you again in person sometime soon.
Greetings to all my great friends at Sun Valley. I so wish I was there, and I look forward to seeing you in Sun Valley very soon.
One day we'll get together again. I can't wait for it. Take care.
Please stay safe. We're having our usual adventures here in Florida, the misadventures here in Florida. I hope you guys are being smarter in Idaho than we're being here. Take care, keep reading, and get through the summer safe and well.
Hopefully we'll all be here in 2021. Hopefully you'll be here in 2021. Stay safe, everyone. Sending love.
To all of you, fond memories and happy future. And here's to you all. Bye-bye. Bliss, what do they say? 1 is not enough. 2 is too many. 3, just right.
So thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you will visit us often at our website, svwc.com, to hear a wide variety of talks. We also send you our very best wishes in hopes that you are well and spending time with your families, and that you are looking forward as much as we are to being in the magical embrace of the Sawtooth Mountains together again. Thank you.